Greetings to all viewers. This is Professor Ankit Singh. We'll now move ahead to the next geometrical element, that is super elevation. By now, in my previous discussions, we already know what super elevation is. Super elevation is nothing but the raising of the outer edge of the road with respect to the inner edge on a horizontal curve in order to counteract the centrifugal force. Okay. Now we will discuss this in detail. Super elevation or cant or banking is the transverse slope provided at horizontal curve to counteract the centrifugal force by raising the outer edge of the pavement with respect to the inner edge throughout the length of the horizontal curve. Okay, so what we do is we raise the outer edge of the road on a horizontal curve throughout the horizontal curve. Okay, and this is done in order to counteract the centrifugal force. When the outer edge is raised, a component of the curve weight will be complemented in counteracting the effect of the centrifugal force. Okay, this we will study during the derivation. The super elevation E is expressed as the ratio of the height of outer edge with respect to horizontal width. Okay, so super elevation, which is denoted by E, is nothing but the ratio of the raised portion to the horizontal width. In practice, the inclination theta with the horizontal is very small and value of tan theta seldom exceeds 0.07. Okay. Now the height of the outer edge divided by the horizontal width would be vertical divided by the horizontal. This is nothing but tan theta. Okay, theta would be this angle, so this tan theta in practice, okay, in actual road conditions would not be greater than 0.07. okay, it is rarely greater than 0.07. So 0.07 is the standard value that is adopted, or the maximum value of super elevation that we design for. In order to find out how much this raising should be, the following analysis may be done. The forces acting on the vehicle while taking a horizontal curve with super elevation is shown in the figure. Okay, now consider this diagram. Okay, this is the outer edge that has been raised. This is the inner edge. The angle between the horizontal and the raised edge is theta. Fa is the reaction, frictional reaction at A, that is wheel A, and Fb at wheel B. Okay, W is the weight acting downwards, vertically downwards, and when you resolve this for theta, okay, for this vehicle along the CG, it would be W cos theta. Okay, and similarly in the horizontal direction it is P, and when you resolve it for theta for the vehicle, it would be P cos theta. Okay, and in the downward direction it would be P sin theta. Okay, keep a note that this angle is theta and even this angle is theta, since this is theta. Okay, now forces acting on a vehicle on a horizontal curve of radius r at the speed of v in meter per second square r. Okay, what are the forces that act on this vehicle? First is capital P, that is the centrifugal force acting horizontally outwards through the center of gravity. Okay, this force. W, that is the weight of the vehicle acting downwards through the center of gravity, that is this force, downward force. Okay, W. F, that is the frictional force between the wheels and the pavement along the surface inwards. Okay, so the frictional force will act inwards on both the wheels, and that is Fa and Fb. Okay, now at equilibrium, by resolving the forces parallel to the surface of the pavement, we get, okay, now what we need to do, the resolution has been done over here. Okay, P cos theta, P sin theta, W cos theta and W sin theta. Okay, now we consider the equilibrium condition. Then you equate the forces acting towards the right and to those forces acting towards the left. Okay, so P cos theta, which is this force, is equal to, so this is the rightward acting force, so it would be equal to all the leftward summation of all leftward acting forces, that it will be equal to Fa plus Fb plus W sin theta. Okay, so P cos theta is equal to W sin theta plus Fa plus Fb. Okay, and as you already know, as we already used in a, we used this concept in a previous lecture, that Fa, that is frictional force at A, can be split up as coefficient of friction into reaction at A, and similarly Fb can be split up as coefficient of friction F into Rb, that is nothing but the reaction at B. Hence we can write Fa equal to F into Ra, Fb is equal to F into Rb. Taking F common, we get W sin theta plus F into Ra plus Rb. Okay, now P cos theta equal to W sin theta plus F. Now Ra plus Rb can be written as, see, Ra would be upward force acting here. Okay, it will be equal to W cos theta and P sin theta. Okay, P sin theta is here, the downward force, and W cos theta is here. Okay, so the upward force would be equal to the downward forces. Hence Ra plus Rb is equal to W cos theta plus P sin theta, where W is the weight of the vehicle, P is the centrifugal force, F is the coefficient of friction in the transverse slope due to super elevation. Now what we are trying to do is, we are trying to obtain the centrifugal ratio from this formula. So as we already know, centrifugal ratio is nothing but P by W. Hence in order to obtain P by W, what we'll do is divide the whole equation by W cos theta. Okay, so P s cos theta divided by W s cos theta, and similarly all the other terms are divided by W cos theta. Here cos theta and cos theta will get cancelled, hence P by W. Sin theta by cos theta is equal to tan theta. So okay, there's no W here, this is only tan theta. There's a printing mistake. Then W cos theta cancels, and we get F. Sin theta by cos theta is tan theta, F into P divided by W. Okay, then we bring this term to the left hand side and take P by W as common. We get 1 minus F tan theta into P by W. Okay, plus tan theta plus F. Okay, that is this. There's no W here, this is a printing mistake. So P by W into 1 minus F tan theta is equal to tan theta plus F. Taking this term to the right hand side, then P by W is equal to tan theta plus F divided by 1 minus F tan theta. Okay, the value of coefficient of lateral friction F is taken as 0.15 for design purpose. Okay, so This is the standard value that we use for design. The value of tan theta or transverse slope due to super elevation seldom exceeds 0.07. Okay, this I explained earlier on. Hence the value of f tan theta is about 0.01. Okay, since f is equal to 0.15 and tan theta or E is equal to 0.07, if you multiply 0.07 into 0.15, you will get a value lesser than 0.01. Okay, then f tan theta is nothing but 0.01. When you substitute that value over here, okay, 1 minus f tan theta, so this would be 1 minus 0.01. The denominator would be something around 0.99. Okay, thus the value of 1 minus f tan theta in the above equation, this is equal to 0.99 and may be approximated to 1. Okay, so you can take 0.99 as 1. So this equation would now become P by W is equal to tan theta plus f, since the denominator becomes 1. Okay, and we know that tan theta is nothing but E. Okay, so P by W is equal to E plus F, and we already know that centrifugal ratio P by W is equal to V square by GR. Hence we can equate E plus F and V square by GR. Therefore E plus F equal to V square by GR. Now this is the formula that we use to find out super elevation when the velocity is given in meter per second. Now if the velocity is given in kmph, then substituting the value of g and converting the value of v into kmph, then we get the formula E plus F equal to V square by 127 R. We'll use this formula when the velocity is given in meter per second, and we'll use this formula when the velocity is given in kmph, where E is the rate of super elevation, F is the coefficient of lateral friction, that is 0.15, V is the speed of vehicle in meter per second square, this is small v. Okay, R is the radius of curve, J is 9.8 meter per second square, and if capital V is given, it is speed in kmph. Now, three specific cases that may arise or that can arise from that equation. If there is no friction due to some practical reasons, then F is equal to 0. Okay, in this formula, if there is no friction, then F would be equal to 0. Then what is E? V square by GR, and equation becomes E is equal to V square by GR. This results in this situation where the pressure on the outer and inner wheels are same, requiring very high super elevation E. Okay, if there is some case due to some considerations we cannot provide friction on the road surface, then we would need to provide maximum super elevation. Second condition, if there is no super elevation provided due to some practical reasons, okay, if we cannot provide super elevation, that is E equal to 0, then in this formula, if E equal to 0, then F is equal to V square by GR. Then the equation becomes F is equal to V square by GR. This results in a very high coefficient of friction. Okay, in this case there would be maximum coefficient of friction that we need to provide on the road surface. Third condition, if E is equal to 0 and F equal to 0.15, if we cannot provide super elevation and we need to limit the coefficient of friction to 0.15, then for safe traveling speed, from the equation we obtain the safe traveling speed from what equation? E is equal to 0 here and F equal to V square by GR. Then what is V? V is equal to root of F into GR. Okay, V is equal to root of F into GR, where V is nothing but the restricted speed. Okay, now from practical considerations, it is suggested that the super elevation should be provided to fully counteract the centrifugal force due to 75% of the design speed. So as per practical considerations, what we do is we design the super elevation to counteract only 75% of the design speed, and the rest of the 25% is expected to be counteracted by other conditions like friction. Okay. Next, maximum super elevation. What is the maximum super elevation that we can provide? The value of super elevation needed increases with the increase in the speed and with decrease of the radius of curve. Okay, this we already know. If the speed increases, then the value of super elevation would be high, and if the radius of the curve increases, then it would be less. Super elevation would be less, since the road would become more straight for a higher radius. For a constant value of coefficient of lateral friction. Okay, these conditions when the coefficient of friction F is constant. IRC has fixed the maximum limit of super elevation in plain and rolling terrain as 7%, taking mixed traffic flow considerations. So for plain and rolling terrain, the maximum super elevation that can be provided is 7% or 0.07. And for hilly roads or hill roads, it is 10%. For urban roads, it is 4%. Now this is the maximum super elevation. So what would be the minimum super elevation? If the calculated super elevation works out to be equal to or less than the camber of the road surface. Okay, we all know what is camber. Camber is the lateral slope that is provided on a road surface for drainage of water. Then the minimum super elevation to be provided on horizontal curve may be limited to the camber of the surface. Okay, so the minimum super elevation is nothing but the camber of the road. It cannot be lesser than the camber of road. A minimum of 2% is provided. Okay, next we will discuss the design steps for super elevation. Okay, if you are required to design a super elevation for a road surface, then you would be given data such as the radius of curve and the velocity or the design speed, okay, of that road. Now there are 4 steps involved for the design of super elevation. Find E for 75% of the design speed. Okay, as we already discussed earlier on that we design the super elevation to counteract 75% of the design speed. Hence what we do is we consider only 75% of design speed during design. First step, step 1, find E for 75% of the design speed neglecting F. Okay, we have to neglect F, hence F is equal to 0. Therefore E was equal to V square by GR. Okay, E was equal to V square by GR. And what is V? V is only 75%. So V would be equal to 0.75 V. Okay, whole square divided by GR. Okay, using this step we find out the value of E, that is super elevation. Now if this value, if the value obtained here is less than 0.07, then the obtained E value is the required super elevation design value and we adopt it. But if the obtained value is greater than 0.07, then we need to move ahead to step 3. Okay, as we already know the maximum value to be provided is 0.07. Now here the value, if it exceeds 0.07, then we need to go to the second step and provide maximum super elevation of E, that is 0.07, and move to step 3. What do we do in step 3? We find F1, that is coefficient of friction for the design speed, and max E. Okay, so the E that is max would be 0.07. What we do here is we will find out the F value. So already we know that E plus F equal to V square by GR. Then F would be equal to V square by GR minus E. Okay, now we use E value as 0.07 and find out the value of F1. Okay, now if this value of F1 is less than 0.15, then we adopt this value along with maximum super elevation 0.07 and close the design here. But if the value of F is greater than 0.15, Then we go to step 4. What do we do in step 4? Find the allowable speed VA for maximum E equal to 0.07 and F equal to 0.15. Okay. So since the maximum value of E that we can provide is 0.07 and the maximum F value is 0.15, since our design could not satisfy both these conditions and we cannot exceed the values greater than 0.07 or 0.15, then what we need to do is we need to restrict the speed for this particular condition. Okay, then we move on to step 4. Find the allowable speed VA for maximum E equal to 0.07 and F equal to 0.15. Now we use the formula VA equal to root of 0.22 into GR. Okay, and we find out the restricted speed. This would complete the design. Now if the speed calculated above is greater than the design speed, then the design is adequate and provide E equal to 0.07. If the calculated speed is less than the design speed, then the speed is limited to VA, that is this speed. Okay, now this completes our design on super elevation. In my next class we would move to widening of pavement on horizontal curves. Thank you.